let's talk about voicemail number 5. Before we do, we got to get on the same page with a couple of things. There's a quote that fits really well right here. Here's how it goes. You can't lose what you never had. You can't keep what's not yours. And you can't hold on to something that doesn't want to stay. If you've been following this process, a couple of things have probably happened. One, don't be surprised if by the time you get to voicemail number 3, they're calling you back to say, hey, Tuesday at 2 o'clock doesn't work for me. Can we talk at 9 o'clock? The reason is because every single time you've left them a message and you said, I'm going to call you at 3 o'clock, I'm going to call you at 2 o'clock on this day at this time, you have. So when they've heard your third voicemail, they know that you're going to be calling back at that time, right? We've built enough credibility to where they can assume that we're going to do what we say we're going to do. If we've gone through voicemails and emails 1 through 4, it's pretty clear that for some reason, they don't want to talk to us. Now it's time for us to, what I call, start defining reality. Let's just call it like it is. Here's how that voicemail could sound. Jim, sometimes priorities, they change. And I get the feeling that something may have come up to make looking into whatever it is that you sell less important than it once was. If that's what happened here, hey, no problem. There's a fine line between being a resource and a pain. And I've built a career on not crossing that line. That said, I'm planning to officially drop out. Now, if I got this completely wrong, and Jim, it wouldn't be the first time, now's the time to let me know. Doors open, but the ball's in your court. So here's what we're doing. We're clearly identifying that we know life comes up, things happen, and that something may have come up to look in that made looking into what you sell less important than it once was. You know, you're going to build a lot of credibility simply by calling it like it is. Not in a mean, in-your-face kind of way, but simply saying, hey, I've been leaving you a couple of messages, and I kind of get the sense that looking into this has become less important. If that's what happened, not a big deal. There's a fine line between being a resource and a pain, and I've built a career on not crossing that line. That said, I'm planning to officially drop out. Now, hey, if I got this wrong, and Jim, it wouldn't be the first time, now's the time to let me know. Doors open, but the ball's in your court. And what we're doing is we're letting them know, hey, this is the last time I'm going to call you for a while. Between you and me, does it have to be the last time you call them forever? Absolutely not. But if we think about the reasons that prospects don't call us back, really, the biggest one, the biggest reason they don't call you back is because they know you'll call back. So we're going to let them know, hey, I get the sense maybe something's changed. That's okay. We're taking all the pressure out of it. No guilt. I get the sense maybe something's changed, and that's okay. I've built a career on not crossing that line between being a resource and a pain, and I'm officially dropping out. If I got it wrong, now's the time to let me know. Doors open, but the ball's in your court. When they hear that message, and if the reason they haven't been calling you back is simply because they keep missing you and, hey, you know what, I'll just catch them the next time they call, what did they just hear? There's no more calls after this. And what we're going to do now is send them the breakup email. The subject line is, I get the feeling something may have changed. We're simply defining reality. We're going to type out the message that we just left for them. See, salespeople, they don't fail because they make an offer and they hear no. Salespeople fail because they spend all their time, all their efforts, all their energy following up with people who either can't or won't make a decision, thinking it's a lead. The reasons they're not calling you back probably have nothing to do with you. But let me ask you this. Are we doing everything we can to make it as easy as possible to communicate the message that's about them, reasons why they would want to buy, their reasons, not ours? Are we making it about them and easy for them to know what's going to happen next, taking all the pressure out of the situation? If you follow this system, but by the way, here's a couple of pro tips. type out these emails in advance and save them as a draft. You can go in and change the names and what it's about. But what I find is if you type out these emails and you save them as a template, it makes following this process a heck of a lot easier. Sometimes people ask me, Bob, okay, so I like the concept of the 5 voicemails, saying something different, building credibility, staying in control over the next time we talk. How often should I space those out? A couple of best practices for you. Usually I find that for emails 1, 2, and 3, voicemails 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to make it back to back. So day 1, day 2, day 3. On day 4, we're saying, hey, when we're setting the soft appointment, 5 days from today, can you shorten that up? Yeah, but what I find is that if you keep it 5 days from today, they probably don't have something scheduled at that very specific day, date, and time. And then, of course, number 5, you can do that the day after. You can do it 2 days after. However quickly you want to get to the fact that this individual, for whatever reason, isn't moving forward, or it's time for them to call. I hope you got just as much out of this session as I put into it. I've had a chance to share this 5 very specific voicemail and email follow-up system with individuals in every kind of industry that you can imagine. And I always hear the same thing. It works. It works. Not because it's laced with magic words, right? I jokingly call them magic phrases, but simply because we're following a process. And we're staying in control over what happens next. And we're not leaving it to chance. I can't wait to see you on the next session. Good selling.